towards the hole. There's some subconscious thing that players struggle to play away from hole locations.
Eun-hee going right at the hole at the 18th, which is more in that middle portion of the green today. 9th hole for Eun-hee, won earlier this season. Just a moment ago at the 12th, this is Jong-un Lee 5. You see number 103.
I think this is one where every player is going to take dead aim all week.
Biarritz green, you got the saddle and the hole location in the middle. You can spin it back in the water. Got to be careful there.
Andrea Lee with a tricky putt here at the 9th.
This is an extremely difficult putt. She has to go up over a ridge and then it just rolls away from her down green, downhill, towards the water. Super fast.
Let's see how she's done. Needs to put the brakes on, doesn't it?
That almost about as good as she could have done from there, Angela?
Yes, Morgan. And I think she got it too much left going up the ridge, so you saw it kind of take it.
We mentioned Morgan and Angela, assistant captains to Stacy Lewis, who is still out there grinding, and she's in position to make the CME Group Tour Championship next week.
Yeah, I know that's a big deal for her. That's a big thought coming into this week, is definitely wanting to solidify her place in the field.
Got Luke Donald going along well down in South Africa.
Yeah,
he's
Ryder
captaining
Cup
the Ryder.
yeah.
Stacey trying to get us to the Tour Championship. Now Jin Young Ko for a birdie. Not an easy putt here either, Angela.
Same thing, Tom. She has to work her way over this mound, and you know, at least Andrea was going directly over the mound. Jin Young, that was a great putt.
I'm really surprised that this 9th hole is actually playing easier than it was yesterday. It seems like it's a much more challenging hole location than that front left, what we saw yesterday.
Nelly for birdie at 10.
Well, and this is going to come up short. Was uphill and into the green.
Nelly trying to win for the first time this year. Go back-to-back here at Pelican Women's Championship. She leads it by 1. Mm-hmm. NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Bel Air, Florida, it's second-round coverage of the Pelican Women's Championship. From here in Bel Air, just hop, skip, and a jump from Clearwater Beach in the Gulf of Mexico. Just a few steps away from that intercoastal waterway. And Pelican Golf Club opened nearly 100 years ago, redesigned back in 2018, and for the third year hosting the world's best in women's golf. It is another stellar field here as we welcome you to day 2 of 3 in this weather-shortened event. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel watching the defending champ, Nelly Korda, making some noise again.
Yeah, feels very comfortable around this golf course. Also, doesn't live too far down the road, just loves this area.
It's a birdie at 5 to get to 7 under, and at 6...
She talked about struggling with her distance control with her irons yesterday, but looks like she's dialed in this morning.
4 shots back when the round began, but 5 birdies for Nelly. She has taken the lead, trying to win at the place where she won her last event of last year. As you look at the Velocity Global opening leaderboard, Nelly by 1 over Maria Fassi of Mexico. Shot a career best 62 yesterday. She'll play a little later today. Allison Corpuz, the rookie from Hawaii, who's had a terrific season inside the top 50 in the race to the CME Globe. Morgan and I are joined by Tom Abbott on this sunshiny Saturday. Karen Stupples, Kay Cockrell, and Angela Stanford on the course. Let's go to the 11th and say hi to Tom.
Inji Chun's second with Kay Cockrell watching.
Yeah, she's even par on her round so far. 1 birdie, 1 bogey. That a 6-iron. Not quite enough to get all the way to that back right hole location.
Well, it's going to come back into the bowl at the front, I think. Or is it going to? No, it's got to go back all the way down there. It's got to. Might take a while. Might be the end of the broadcast before it gets there. No, it's going to stay right on the end. Okay, that's going to make it a little bit easier than if it rolled down towards that drain. Back over to 9. And Gabby Lopez for a birdie up the hill. Great look.
Oh, just too much pace there, Tom. A little bit less pace. I think that would have gone in. She had the right line.
So Gabby's going to go out in 1 under, 6 under for the tournament.
Just with the outfield, you just want to hit like a 60 shot with the 5?
No, because if it flies 60, it's going to go over the green.
It shouldn't be a hard bounce if it flies 60, right, into the wind?
Yeah, there's only 4 behind it, though. I mean, I can. I just don't know what is a better weave.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to fly. It's like we're just hitting a 60 shot off the outfield. It shouldn't fly more than 60, right? And it shouldn't be bouncing hard into the wind with it. I think.
Yeah, okay.
So, be good.
Yep.
She definitely does not want to go long or long right. There's not much green beyond this whole location. There's plenty of room, a little bit short and left of the flag.
It sounded like Brennan was talking her into the slightly longer of the 2 clubs, feeling like off the upslope and into the wind, it'll still land softly.
Yeah, she got some good height on that one. Well struck. Good play there.
Good commitment to that shot with a little bit of just uncertainty in that discussion.
To 12, and Celine Boutier.
Hole location today on 12, right in the bottom of this green. There's a lot of trouble, though, short.
And there's a Lamborghini on the line for any ace made this week. 2-year lease of that Lamborghini SUV. All right, we are at the 10th tee, and Gabby Lopez and Angela Stanford is following along with this group.
Yeah, this has been playing as one of the tougher holes because of the green complex, but today the pin is on the front. Just get this ball in the fairway, and with Gabby's length, she'll have a shorter club in.
Yeah, even with the hole location on the front, it's still playing as the 3rd most challenging hole on the golf course. Tough par 4.
Back on the tee at the 11th. Might be time for new balls, please. That's another family sport, isn't it? Where they say that?
Well, let's hope she doesn't need a second serve.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
Very good.
But this is, quite a nice tee shot. I mean, wide open fairway, not a huge amount of trouble there. And the bunkers really are not in play today. Back into the breeze for Nelly. So go ahead and pummel this one.
It's about 280 to the left bunker. It's over 300 to the one on the right.
Yeah, with no roll on the fairway too, Tom.
Yeah, it's still damp out there. Remember, we had almost 5 inches of rain here. Tropical storm Nicole coming through, so it's remarkable we could even play yesterday. It's a testament to the work they've done here at Pelican.
Allison Corpus, as you see, alone in third. And Morgan, what a year for the rookie who had never played an LPGA event before this year.
Yeah, it's you got to learn very quickly when you've never even had that experience. And all rookies out here needing to learn all new golf courses. They just spend a lot of extra time prepping week in, week out. It's tough on the rookies.
At the 12th, Sei Young Kim, the winner here in 2020 and a runner-up in a playoff last year to Nelly Korda.
Yeah, nice.
There have only been a couple of aces at this golf course when they put the hole in the middle, even from members. It's more likely to happen when it's up on either the right or the left. Corpus, who had never made a cut in an LPGA event before this season as a rookie, has a chance to get to 8 under. Today's coverage is brought to you by Raymond James, tailored wealth management, banking, and capital market solutions for clients' unique needs. By CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. And by Voice Caddy, golf experience advanced. Do they allow beer there?
They do.
At the 10th, the second shot for Gabby Lopez.
She has 146 to the hole.
A little bit of a tug, looks like. Not very happy with that one.
She worked hard for a bogey back at the 8th.
There's a bunker over there that she probably found.
Up at 11.
She able to get the putter on this one.
Yeah, her ball did not go back down into that hollow. This a 45-footer, slightly uphill, a little left to right.
Yeah, good for speed.
Yeah, players knew how big these greens were coming into the week. Practiced a lot, especially putting from the fringe. A lot of closely mown areas.
Playing in that group with Allison Corpus is Maya Stark, a winner as a non-member in Europe earlier this summer. Accepted LPGA membership, and she is off and running as an LPGA player.
Now here's Inji for her par.
Alex and McGuire both missed their birdie putts, so looks like it's going to be pars all the way around for this group.
Coming off a couple of months back home in Korea, which she said was nice. Wasn't the best circumstance considering she was recovering from injury, but it was nice to be home.
Allison Corpuz to get to within one. There you go. So she had played 4 LPGA events before this season. She was unranked, having just turned pro, and now she's contending to win. Welcome to day 2 here of the Pelican Women's Championship. And Morgan, at the place where Nelly Korda really capped off an incredible year, becoming #1 in the world, winning 4 times. She's trying to win for the first time in 2022, and she leads it by 1.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. She obviously feels very comfortable around this golf course, has hit a ton of greens, hit every fairway so far this week. And I think that month off was good for her. She talked about having missed so many events early in the season. She kind of felt like she had to cram a lot of events in, and having that month off, I think, really helped her heal and just recover, essentially, even more mentally than physically, and be prepared to come out and really play well this week.
Yeah, she's coming off a couple of missed cuts, which just doesn't happen to Nelly Korda. She has a chance, perhaps this week, to even get back to #1 in the world. It's really tight at the top. How about the course conditions here? Again, as we mentioned, entire day of play wiped out Thursday with Tropical Storm Nicole. They shortened the tournament to 54 holes, but I don't think you'd note it if you were just walking around the golf course today.
No, it's fabulous. I mean, even yesterday, the grounds crew here getting the golf course ready to play first thing yesterday morning. The first tee time was before 7 a.m. And I mean, you would have no idea that we got 5 inches of rain here on Thursday, excuse me. And it's just been beautiful. I think we're seeing the greens firm up a fraction. Players still being able to be aggressive, and fairways not rolling out all of that much, but it's beautiful conditions for this weekend. It should continue to dry out a little bit.
All right, so you've got the American Nelly Korda, a Florida girl, not far from where she grew up and was raised, and now still lives, Bradenton.
This is just from 134. Signals for a 9-iron. The reason 9-iron is that there's a little bit of hurting wind into her right now off the left. She can move the ball either way, but she'd rather hit a draw, so this is going to take a bit of distance off of it.
No danger there. Yeah, she's so close to home that she went back home to her parents' house down in Bradenton when the storm came through on Thursday and they had the day off. Good to be there with your family, just not stuck here for a day inside.
Third shot for Lopez.
Oh, goodness. Just trying to be too perfect. You've got to get it on the green.
At the 12th, say Young Kim for birdie. Like Nelly, this is the last place where she won an LPGA event. That was back in 2020. All right, fourth shot for Gabby Lopez at 10.
Morgan, like you said, now you just got to get it on the green. I mean, it is down slope there, but
and now you're just kicking yourself. You wish you'd done that the first time.
Exactly.
All right, so that'll be for bogey for Gabby. Up at the 12th, Boutier for birdie. Celine, who's had a terrific season, 10th in the race to the CME Globe with 11 top 10s, looking for her first win of the year.
Back at the 11th. This was just a moment ago. Nelly quarter for birdie.
And this one's going to be slow again, Tom. She's left herself below the hole and into the grain.
Managed to get enough pace to get it there. Not happy with the read.
All right, so this is the bogey putt for Gabby Lopez at 10.
It's a little right to left, similar to the putt she had on 8.
That's a big putt right there. Again, 8 and 10. Keeping the double squares off the card, but having to work really hard for those bogeys.
To the 12th and the tee shot for Leona Maguire.
Yeah, she's pulled out a 7-iron, and a little bit of breeze is hurting. This needs to get up.
Oh, they've shaved this bank. That's in the water.
It is a red line there.
Yeah, so she'll be able to drop right where that crossed.
As opposed to yellow normally.
I was surprised she went with that club, Morgan, especially when the wind started freshening in the face.
11.
And you're just missing out.
Yeah, she could only be very defensive on that one, Tom. It was down grain and downhill. When we talk about grain, you can see around these cups there's a little slight jagged edge on one side versus a smooth edge on the other. That's how you can tell where the grain is.
You know, I always like the players to be challenged.
Yes, we know.
It should be yellow.
At 12.
The penalty area should be yellow.
What do you think? And normally it is, right?
I think it could certainly.
12, yeah.
I think it could certainly be yellow. I think there's a good argument for it to be yellow. I think it's red to maybe speed up play.
Yeah,
would be the only thing that I could think of.
These players are so good. They need to be challenged. Nelly for par. Just tapping it in.
Says Tom, who's never made a bogey on the LPGA Tour.
Never missed a cut.
Par 70 here, 35-35, just one par 5 on each 9, and this is the 14th and the third for Yulu, 98th in the race to the CME Globe. Top 100 keep their cards next year. And so every putt matters for all of those on the various bubbles. And to that point, you can go to LPGA.com for the latest live scoring and statistics. This week, every week, LPGA.com.
Back to the tee at the 11th. Gabby Lopez.
That was with Barbara Walters?
Yeah.
She's picked up quite a bit of distance, Tom, about 10, 12 yards in driving average. And I think that's why we've seen her play so well, especially towards the end of this year.
It's going to be just fine. Generous fairway there at the 11th. The second round of the Pelican Women's Championship. The sun shining here in Bel Air, Florida.
At the par 3 12th, Inji Chun for birdie.
Yeah, this putt from just over the flagstick should want to wander a little right.
Be a little bit quick, too, putting down back towards the water. Well judged for pace.
You see Yulu there at 6 under, trying to get it to 7. That'd be one way to guarantee your status for next year and the next couple. Just go ahead and win.
Again, you know, not a lot to lose, just trying to make sure that she has a place to play next year. Go for broke.
Sure. McGuire won earlier this year. This is for bogey at 12. Was able to play from right in front of the green, right, Kay?
Yes, and her chip was sort of substandard, and wow, a quick double.
And for the members here, it plays as a yellow line. You'd have to play from a drop area or a re-tee. And that just brings Leona's round to a screeching halt after playing the front 9 in 29.
Second at 11 for Gabby Lopez.
She had 145 to the hole. That was an 8-iron.
Yeah, it's just fine there. Scampering up to be able to see where it finished. Gabby with a couple of big bogey saves, but kind of a little on the ropes, you'd say, a little bit over the last few holes.
We're back at the 12th, and as we look at the insights by KPMG, we see, no surprise here, Morgan, that since July, Lydia Ko has been brilliant, as she's really been all year.
Yeah, just it's every part of her game, really. You could say this season maybe had a little bit of a low left miss with the driver that has plagued her at times, but I mean, her game is just so solid.
Karen, she hit 65 of 72 greens winning in Korea, the most she's ever hit in her brilliant career.
And that's saying something, because she has one of the most amazing short games that you could see on any tour, whether it's with the putter, whether it's with the wedges. But she knows how to get the job done close to the green. So when she's hitting lots in regulation, that's a pretty potent combination. This is a 7-iron for her. It's a little bit of hurt in this wind off the right. This one started at the flag, but drawing just a smidge.
Can you use that
Take
left
advantage
slope?
of the slope, Morgan.
Carried it actually past the slope. Actually putting right down the valley.
45. If it gets up a little bit, maybe at 47 shots, your safety net, in off the right.
Let's take a look at this tee shot of our leader, Nelly Korda, with our top tracer technology. Morgan and Karen, doesn't this whole location right in that bowl seem like the one where you'd see the most aces?
You would think so, wouldn't you? Because it allows for a slight right miss or a slight left miss to gather with the slopes either side.
I think it's maybe easier to get it close, but I don't know if those slopes are quite enough to bring the ball all the way back to the hole.
No, with the greens being slightly slower than they were last year too, Morgan, because of the wetness.
Oh, this could get good.
That was a daytime.
Not perfect, but really good. That'll be a putt for her 6th birdie of the day.
This is Yulu on the tee at the 15th. The flag today is just over that left bunker. And the green will funnel the ball down towards the hole if you're tight on the right side of the bunker. That's a little bit too far right.
That's going to be a tricky putt. Uphill, up the hill, then back down the hill.
One more at the 12th, Hannah Green.
This also an 8-iron for Hannah. Always tremendous rhythm. This one also going with a bit of a draw. Has to catch that slope.
Oh, she missed the slope.
Oh, dear.
It's going to be fast.
That's going to be tricky.
Right, back one to the 11th.
And Gabby Lopez with a good look at birdie.
Yes, Tom, she is a little into the grain up the hill. May try to move left to right on her at the end.
Looks like this group, Angela, has caught back up. Don't have to worry about rushing too much anymore.
Yes, they have. The group in front of them just walked off the tee.
just moved a little too much. We've seen more movement than expected on this green so far today. Gabby coming off a month's rest, looking for a good finish to the season.
We said it'd be tough. This was a moment ago. Hannah Green at 12.
Well, it was, and as much as you want to get the line perfect, the real thing here is making sure you get the speed right.
Oh, get it over the hill. Barely.
Was that like a 2-footer that she putted, Karen?
If that.
What a putt. Wow.
We remind you that tomorrow night it's Justin Herbert and the Chargers going to San Fran to take on Christian McCaffrey and the Niners. Chargers and Niners, Sunday Night Football, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC and Peacock. Rematch of a Super Bowl played in Florida a quarter century ago. Lydia Ko for birdie at 12.
Doesn't have to worry about that big downslope here, but it might still have a bit of an influence on this putt in terms of how this ball rolls.
See, Allison Corpuz on the other side of the golf course has tied Nelly Korda. Nelly, though, has 86 feet to regain the lead and get to 10 under par. Lydia leading the Player of the Year standings. That's a points-based race. She's leading the Vare Trophy, which is for the low scoring average, which she won last year. She's got a chance to pick up a couple of more Hall of Fame points as she tries to join that elite company. Now Nelly.
And her ball's come to rest nearer the other of those, the two slopes. We saw Lydia dealing with the one on the left side of the hole, the one that Hannah Green came down, and now Nelly has to deal with the other one. So this should move just a bit to the right. But again, looks fairly speedy.
Hard to think that this would break away from the water.
Ooh.
Tough to judge it.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to trust it, I should say. You know, you might see that, but with the water behind her back there. Good call, Karen.
So she remains at 9 under, still puzzled by that one. Nelly hit a good one. Not good enough to win this, though. This is the Lamborghini Urus, courtesy of Morgan Automotive. It's an SUV, and the tournament officials realized, you know, you couldn't really put a golf club in that, a golf bag in that Lamborghini Huracan that they gave away 3 times last year for aces. But Angela, I think you could fit golf clubs in a couple of suitcases in that SUV.
For sure. I mean, I love a fast car, but I like a fast car that I can, you know, put my clubs in.
Sure. Here's Andrea Lee.
Grant, this is a 6-iron.
Is there much breeze right now, Angela?
You know, it's a little confusing because it gusts and then it dies down, but it's mostly from the right.
Oh. This might stay on the top of the slope. Oh, too deep.
How tough will that be?
It'll be quick down the slope, have a little bit of right to left break. It'll all depend a little bit on the lie.
No limit to the number of Lamborghinis they will hand out. Did it last year as well. Austin Ertz won one in the Pro-Am, win that 2-year lease. This was Pavarisa Yaktuan in round 2. She had just wrecked her motorcycle, she said, coming into the week, and she needed some wheels. She got 4 of them. And then first shot of Sunday morning at the 12th. Sue O. And none better than the first. Yes. And the tournament, in addition to making it an SUV, a little more room, they're picking up the cost of the insurance to go along with that 2-year lease. How about that? That's the par 3 15th. We're over at the par 3 12th, and Gabby.
This is a 7-iron for Gabby. I wonder if watching Andrea's ball, she might have taken one less. She had 2 clubs in her hand.
She's made a couple from off the green this week.
She was begging that to go, and if she had been a yard or 2 short of that, she would have ended right back in the water where Leona hit it. Safe now.
Gabby made an ace in Pro-Am earlier this week at that 15th. Hold out for Eagle at 17 yesterday in round 1.
Looking back towards the tee at the 13th, you see the hospitality stands there around the 12th green, so just a short walk from the green to the tee, but a very differing hole. Long par 4 here for Lydia.
It is. The one thing that makes it slightly easier for the players today is the fact that the wind is down and off the right. So if Lydia can turn this one over, get a little bit of draw on this, she should be able to get more distance on it. She's got plenty of air under it, trying to maximise that helping wind.
Yeah, and you can see definitely a good bit more roll than we saw yesterday on this golf course. Course drying out a little bit, both off the tee and into the greens. Players having to adjust.
There's been a lot of rain over the last month or so in Central Florida, and it's been difficult for everyone involved in the golf industry. It's been very difficult for a lot of people in more serious ways, but trying to get the golf course firm has been difficult. But they've done a good job here. Now Nelly.
Just watching the lines on her swing, Tom Morgan, I mean, it's just beautiful to watch.
She's so balanced, so in control, looks very confident. Confident Nelly's a bit of a scary Nelly for the rest of the field.
You Lou for a par at 15. You said that first putt was going to be tricky. He's putted down to here. Manages to save par, so that's a good 3 on a difficult par 3. 15 played as one of the more difficult holes on the golf course yesterday. 5th hardest today.
Over at the second, co-leader Allison Corpuz. Morgan, there are some wild green complexes here at Pelican, maybe none more so than here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of usable surface area. This is one of the most turtleback greens, but that is about as perfect as she could have played that. Great distance control.
Turtleback greens and some Eagles high overhead here at the Pelican Women's Championship. This is day 2 of 3. All right, from the shadows, Andrea Lee second at the par 3 12th.
She drew a pretty decent lie in the rough.
Just slid the club right underneath that almost too beautifully. I've seen a few players leave that putt short and from that direction, just not quite as quick towards the water as they think.
Ji Chun here for a birdie at 13. We've only had 3 today so far.
Hit a really aggressive 6-iron in here, and it almost paid off.
Now go over to the other side of the golf course, number 2.
And Maya Stark with her third shot.
Just probably going to bump something into this slope a little bit. Oh, chose the high route to carry. Very well done.
She's flashed some short games since she came over here to start playing in the U.S. beginning in Portland.
What have I watched her now play? 4 or 5 tournaments, and every time she has a wedge in her hand, it has been exceptional.
All right, Gabby Lopez just inches away, as Morgan mentioned, from maybe coming back into that penalty area, but it held up, and now this for birdie.
Grant, looks like it could be a little right to left, into the green, little uphill. A couple of balls that she's kept on the green. I think I would look for one of those ball markers that, you know, you click on your hat. I mean, she's digging in her pocket for a ball mark a couple times, or I'd be in a hurry to mark it.
And lining up for this to go a fraction right to left. Same thing she did on 9, just almost a very similar putt. Carried a lot too much pace there. A good foot, 2 feet further than she wanted to.
Allisen Corpuz to take the lead. This at the second, her 11th of the day.
Everything should break a little bit back towards the front of the green here. But overall, a relatively level putt.
Runner-up to Maya Stark in Northern Ireland, with whom she's playing today. Andrea Lee, from not having her tour card when the year began to now being on, well, the radar for Stacey Lewis, Morgan Pressel, Angela Stanford, the U.S. Solheim Cup Brain Trust. This for par.
That almost looked like it wiggled right at the very end. That didn't look like a bad putt. She's going to be frustrated with that one. A little bit of a tug off the tee. 6-iron went over the green. She's just out of sorts a little bit. And, you know, she did play in Asia, maybe a little bit tired. A lot of players actually talking about that break on Thursday, giving them more time to recover. But Andrea just a little bit off her game.
A rarity for her after a brilliant season. 13.
Here's Lydia.
The difficulty that Lydia faces here, she's on a downslope.
Stop.
She does have some helping wind. She's got an 8-iron out. Total of 160 to the hole. The smart play is to go a little bit more to the right, because if you go a little bit deep, there's a little backstop there that you can use. But the green is, the flag is perched on a little tier on that back left.
More aggressive, don't go too far. That's danger. There is actually a penalty area back there, but it's not going to get that far.
That's going to be really soft over there, too, because that's where all the water drains off this green.
And the green is sloping away from her.
Par save attempt for Maya Stark at 2.
Well, a little bit of the same of what we have seen with her spectacular short game. We have seen her miss a few of those short putts as well.
She'll drop 3 behind the leaders.
Yeah, like that 140-42 feel.
Gabby Lopez did make a par at 12, by the way. Now Nelly here at the 13th.
She's got 155. The ball is above her feet. So she's going to grip down a little bit on this. This is an 8-iron as well, but she's doing a really smooth swing. You can see that, but this is a little bit left of the hole in the bunker.
Yeah, that looked like a not very committed golf swing right there.
Yeah, I think she might have been thinking it could have been the 9.
So Nelly in a bit of trouble at 13. Allisen Corpuz is through 2. They're tied for the lead. It is time now for our Volunteers of America tournament summary with the ever-youthful Tom Abbott.
Well, thanks, Grant. The LPGA Tour is expected to announce its 2023 schedule next week in Naples, but we already know there will be some additions to the new season, including the return of the International Crown. The Hanwha Life Plus International Crown is heading to the Bay Area with TPC Harding Park playing host to its first LPGA event in early May. The Crown is a biennial team competition, last played in 2018 in Korea when the home country won. 8 countries qualify off the Rolex rankings, and the cutoff is just over a week away. Right now, China, Germany, South Africa, and France are battling for the last spot. Speaking of future events, the USGA has been busy over the last several weeks. We've learned Los Angeles Country Club will host the US Women's Open in 2032 and Chicago Golf Club in 2033. It means the lineup is set for the next 13 years. I'll be in my 50s by that time, by the way. The championship will visit some of America's most venerable venues, none more so than a first playing at Pebble Beach next year. And finally, some unfortunate news from the Corda camp. Jessica is undergoing a procedure on her back, forcing her out of this week and next week at the CME Group Tour Championship. The good news, she is expected to return at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions in January. Well, Grant, we know that Jessica has a pretty good record of starting the season well, especially when she's coming back from injury.
All right, that is our Volunteers of America tournament summary. What horror to be in your 50s, Tom. Still some time. There are the Cordas, Peter and Regina. Watching Nelly.
And they've celebrated Jessica's wins. Many of them have come when she's been at the start of her season, and especially coming back from injury when she won in Thailand, having had the jaw surgery. Lopez at 13 out to the right.
I think she should have a clear shot to the green still from there.
This is at the third. Alison Corpus. Downhill par 3. Safely on the green. Back over to the 13th, and a very difficult shot here for Lydia.
It is. This is going to really test Lydia's genius level of short game skills. But the interesting thing was she went up to the green, just on the very fringe. She's got this wide open. She's going to lob this one up onto that fringe. And she kind of aim pointed it to see which direction it would bounce once it lands on the green.
You can see how much weight she has on her front foot. Wow. What a shot.
It's so good.
Such a genius. I mean, I can't even describe how properly difficult that was. Landing on a downslope and getting it to spin that way.
Right, and having the confidence to just throw it all the way there. And now Nelly's going to be on the other side of the hole, coming out of the bunker. It's still not a piece of cake here.
No, it's not. And the reason for that is it literally slopes all the way down until maybe about, well, it's a gradual slope all the way to the hole. It's steep at the start and then kind of eases off just a bit, but you've got to try and get the club through this quickly to get some spin on it to land it on that downslope.
And if you look statistically, Karen, if there's one weakness in her game, it would be scrambling and sand saves.
Nice control.
Beautiful.
Does that surprise you, the stats?
You know, she doesn't miss a whole lot of greens. It's different from a player who does miss a lot of greens, is forced to have that kind of creativity, where Nelly really doesn't. And even on this shot, she doesn't generate a lot of spin. You can see it kind of landed without a lot of spin and released, maybe a fraction heavy, but worked out nicely.
When I think of Nelly, I think of a really good short game. The stats don't show it, at least this year. Yulu at the 16th. Second group out this morning. You always see it at the final full field event. Someone makes a big run from right on that 100 bubble.
Hannah Green's birdie putt there, so she's going to make a 4, and Hannah will remain at 3 under, which is in a tie for 19th. It is cut day today. The cut will fall at the end of play, and at the moment the cut is level par. That's looking across from behind the 16th green over towards the 14th tee and the 13th there. It's pretty compact, this back nine. It's an easy walk, and if you are lucky enough to come and play at Pelican Golf Club, they use caddies here, and a lot of players walk, majority of players walk. Now Nelly for the par.
Bit of a slightly awkward read here. You want to think that this is going to break to the left, but I don't think it does quite as much as you think. So I wouldn't give the hole away here. Ooh, actually did.
Shame. Tough hole 13. They do move the tee up, or they have done in years past. We will see whether they move up the tee tomorrow. They built a new tee at 13. Now Lydia.
This should be more up the hill, Tom, for Lydia.
Should be a great up and down, Karen.
I mean, crazy. I wouldn't have. I mean, we all know how skillful she is, but I mean, even I didn't think that that kind of a shot was possible from back there off such a tight lie.
And wet ground as well. Once you get down below the level of the green, it starts to get soggier.
It is. It's still quite soft. The high parts of the course are kind of drying out quite nicely, but the lower areas, you were saying, still soft.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
Wow.
Incredible. When the Dorr family acquired Pelican a few years ago, they brought in the Bo Welling design team to renovate the golf course, and they spent a lot of money here and obviously did a great job with the drainage, because it's remarkable that we're able to play, and you wouldn't even think there was any issue. A couple of days ago, tropical storm coming through. A number of golf courses in the area not even really playable still. Alison Corpus now.
Putting up and over a little bit of a ridge here. And nicely judged for pace. Players have talked, even with the rain, about especially yesterday, that the greens were faster than they expected them to be. They thought that they'd be a little bit slower with as much rain as we received, but said some of the best greens they've ever played.
Ecuador's Daniela Darquea at the 12th. Began the year buried on the priority list, 386th, and now she's vying for a spot in the CME Group Tour Championship. Is this going to be a Lamborghini? Close. LA loves to see that Lamborghini Urus roll in. Take a look at our projected bubble and that race to the CME Globe. Remember, we're going to 63rd because 3 players aren't going to compete next week, so they've dropped it to make sure we get 60 there. Matilda Castron, just by decimals, is ahead of Pornanong Patlam in the projected race.
Yeah, there can still be a lot of shuffling ahead in the next, day and a half.
All 3 of these are on the bubble. There's Kelly Tan of Malaysia in the red skirt, and here comes Darquea from Ecuador, who played at the University of Miami.
I mean, you think about Daniela Darquea, you'd have to think, regardless of whether she gets in CME, she is just absolutely thrilled with her performance in only a handful of events this year.
Yeah.
And just knowing she has a place to play next year, she is guaranteed her tour card. With not knowing whether she's going to play Epson Tour or LPGA Tour earlier this season, kind of going back and forth between the two.
Amazing. Runner-up in Portland. That really solidified it. All right, a chance to maybe get a shot back here for Nelly, who's now 1 behind.
Well, I do think she can get to this green in 2. The wind is into and off the left, but still quite light. This one a little bit down the right side, but with a nice draw.
Nellie and Lexi played with Jennifer Kupcho in the final group on Sunday last year. Both stumbled a bit down the stretch. They brought in Lydia Ko and Se-Young Kim, and wound up being Nellie in a playoff.
Stark didn't like that one. That was for birdie at the third.
Yeah, quick walk usually means that she didn't start that where she was looking. Didn't hit it in the center of the putter face.
PGA visiting Pelican Golf Club for the third time. It's the Pelican Women's Championship. Alison Corpus leads by 1. Gabby Lopez here at the 13th.
It's quite a long putt. She's going uphill into the green, and it looks like it's going to try to move left to right as it goes up the hill.
See that flag moving around a little more. Is there a bit more breeze out there now, Angela?
I think they can feel it right here because this would be kind of straight downwind, more west, out of the west.
Back one to the 12th.
And we talked about that group on that CME bubble. Jenny Shen has never missed a CME Group Tour Championship. She's played in all 11. Oh, yeah, she's got to make the cut first and then make a run tomorrow. How impressive is that, Morgan?
Yeah, she knows what she has to do. She knows, and she also probably knows she's never missed a CME Group Tour Championship.
But to make it every year.
It shows just real consistency.
I think sneaky, great career. Jenny Shen.
Jin Young Ko has this for a birdie.
Similar, but I think her putt's going to be straighter than Gabby's. Still uphill into this, maybe a side green. Just off that slope, it just moves so much left to right. It's hard to tell that.
In danger of missing another cut is Jin Young Ko. We know that she's been struggling with the wrist injury. Took some time away from the tour and rested that. Tried to come back in Korea, and that didn't go so well, but she missed 2 cuts prior to that layoff. So the 17th, Yu Lu. This flag is tight on the back of the green. It's only 2 paces. It looks a bit more, doesn't it, from this angle? But I went out and paced it off earlier. And once you go over this green, falls away. Shouldn't be a problem from here. So players that aren't used to chipping around the greens in Florida can be very difficult, Morgan.
Yeah, if you use too much of your leading edge when you're chipping into the green, it can be very sticky.
Do players make any changes to equipment playing off this sort of grass?
I did not typically change my equipment depending on the grass.
Morgan Metro 101 in the race to the CME Globe from Switzerland.
But back to your point, Tom, you may use a slightly different technique. Like I would maybe lift my hands a little bit more if I was chipping off of a tight, grainy lie, as opposed to bent grass where the club travels through much easier.
At the 14th, the second of the par 5 for Nelly.
From 248, using the 3-wood, it is back into the wind off of an upslope. It's got a bit of a draw, made good contact.
Would find the bunker, yes.
That's going to be quite a long bunker shot, actually. She's probably a good 15 yards. She felt like she hit that so good. Which she did. Just came up a little bit, wind got it a little bit more than she was expecting.
Third shot from the bunker at the par 5 14th. She tries to regain a share of the lead. Third shot for Lydia Ko at the par 5 14th.
Oh, she's got 70 yards, so it's not going to be a full shot for her, even though it's into the wind.
Thing of beauty. That'll be for birdie. Take you over to the other side of the course and the par 4 4th. This is the leader, Allison Corpuz.
It's a very interesting green, kind of like an upper horseshoe and a lower bowl. That's going to end up in the lower bowl. You can see the whole location on the front right today. It's going to be a slow putt up the hill.
17.
So Yulu chipping from short of the green at the 17th. This is for par. Stay 2 back. Oh. Well, 17 is a hole that players would be looking to make a birdie. And Yulu is going to walk away with a drop shot, so she falls back to 6 under, first bogey of the day for Yulu.
Nelly trying to get back to 9 under, third shot at the 14th.
This is a bit of a challenge. Lots of bunker to carry, and then it's going to land on a downslope when it hits the green. It's going to require a very full swing here.
Sounded good.
Yep.
That was nicely done.
The difficulties, I mean, landing on that downslope.
Yeah, I mean, number one job she had to do was get it on the green, and she's giving herself a putt for par, or birdie, excuse me.
What'd you say earlier? It's easy to get cute in some of those situations. She didn't. She's got a putt for birdie. Over at the 4th, 13th hole of the day for this group, including Sweden's Maja Stark. You see, 4th. Okay, she may have 4th alone here very soon. Time now for the Paradise City Entertaining Moment of the Week. Great news for the LPGA as the Pelican Women's Championship and the Tour announced that starting next year, the Annika, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican, will feature a tournament purse helping it to $3.25 million, the largest of the non-majors for the CME, and Annika will serve as the tournament host. Proceeds will benefit the Annika Foundation. She'll be the sole namesake event on the LPGA Tour. Back at the 14th, and Nelly. And Karen, how about the season? She began 2022 number 1 in the world and had the lead going into the final round of the season opener, and the chilly conditions in Orlando at the Tournament of Champions lost it, and then things went really wild for Nelly.
Well, I mean, when you think about having a blood clot in your arm and having to take that time off and being in hospital, I mean, just being back on the golf course has to be, quite the thing for her, because that had to be incredibly scary to go through all that. And so, nice birdie. So the tendency, I think, is to feel like you're a little bit behind the 8 ball when you've missed all that time at the start of the season. So you push a bit too hard to try and make something happen. But good form here.
Yeah, that was a nice bounce back right there.
So she joins Corpuz again atop the leaderboard. This is Allison at the 4th.
Long, tricky putt from a low part of the green up to a higher portion.
Oh, wow.
Nothing tricky about that, Kay.
A great putter shows up to follow Allison, and she makes a 40-footer.
Well, when it's your day, it's your day.
Kay Cockrell now with our leader, Allison Corpuz. Nelly at the 14th, a tremendous up and down with a long bunker shot. Birdie at the 14th, and then over at the 4th, not to be outdone. Allison Corpuz, a couple of top 10s this year, including a second, looking for her first victory in her rookie year. Lydia Ko for birdie at 14.
I can be aggressive with this one. Not a lot of break up the hill. Played it outside the hole.
.68 yesterday for Lydia. That just makes it harder and harder for anyone to catch her to win the Vare Trophy. Last year she won it even though she was third in scoring average behind Nelly and Jin Young, who didn't have the minimum number of rounds required. So it goes down to those who have at least 70, and it was Lydia. Maya Stark, beautiful approach at the 4th. So Allison from long range, Stark a short one. She is alone in 4th. The LPGA Women's Network is the go-to resource, providing advice for your game and inspiration for your life. Visit LPGAWomen'sNetwork.com today. To the 15th we go.
This is Leona Maguire for a par. Leona's having a good day. I mean, she's 5 under par. She had that little slip up at the 12th where she went in the water and made a double bogey. But when you look at the start of her round, she was 6 under through 9 holes. So still in with a chance here, but with the 54-hole set up this week because of the storm on Thursday, it is a bit more of a sprint, and she's going to have to play very well, you would think, tomorrow to have a chance. But she has shot 62 on this golf course before. Over to the 13th, and Jenny Shin for a birdie. Did she hit it? Did she hit it? Oh, just going to be a par. Jenny had a very good run towards the end of May, beginning of June, where she recorded 3 top 10 finishes, including a quarterfinal loss at the Bank of Hope LPGA Match Play, presented by MGM Rewards. Now looking back to the tee at the 15th, and Hannah Green.
Got a 6-iron now, Tom. It is downwind, off the right slightly. No problem seeing the flag today because it's all the way on the far left side of the green.
I was going to say that was an aggressive line coming off birdie on the previous hole, but it is going to be in the bunker. And as you can see from the sand on the green, that's been a pretty popular spot today. And as we get ready to watch Nelly's tee shot here, we're going to use our top tracer technology.
Just a touch. I think it's playing, if we're going at the tower, I think it's playing 70. If we're going at the 8, I like what you got, and I think you just trust that similar line right into the bunker and just hope it falls with that wind.
Nelly also got a 6-iron out here. And I was out watching her play in the Pro-Am when it was much windier, and she was on this actual very tee, and her ball flew dead straight. And Jason McDedo caddy said, she never gets it to drift, it always stays straight. She has got this one to move a little bit on the window.
Is it enough?
Oh.
No. Now, the good news for those players in that bunker, the percentage of getting it up and down from there today is still pretty high. We're looking at 78%.
How about this third for Gabby Lopez at the 14th?
Grant, she has 84 yards. She's in the rough. The line's not bad, but she's got to carry it at least 74 to clear this bunker.
Ooh. It was about 74 and a half, wasn't it?
Maybe 74 and a quarter. She's been living on the edge a little bit since our broadcast window started.
15.
Yeah, Lydia over on the right side here, Karen at the tee.
Yeah, trying to take advantage, get it to draw. That was a high 5-iron for Lydia. Oh, landed hard though.
Yeah, I think it landed on the downslope. That's unlucky. There's nothing to stop it now. It runs away.
We know she's got that shot.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty good around the greens, but you don't really want to test yourself too many times. And a bit of breeze there at the players' backs.
The early groups finishing up their second rounds. Here's Yulu in the second group off. She's tied for 5th. chance to bounce back after the bogey. It's warm, it's humid, gorgeous here for day 2 of this 54-hole event. We'll wrap up the regular season on the LPGA Tour. Just one event left next week, the CME Group Tour Championship.
A special spice.
It's a burger in a hot dog bun.
Back at the 15th, and this is where Lydia Ko has finished. They are playing lift, clean, and place today. That's why she's got the ball in hand. But not an easy shot, but not as difficult as the one we saw at 13, Karen.
No, not at all. She's got a lot more green to use, and she doesn't have to spin it quite as much. It's still landing on a downslope though, so she does have to be aware of where she wants this to land. I think Lydia is one of the most talented when it comes to being able to visualize the shot and then being able to just be free enough to reproduce it without fear of guiding it.
Very well done. It's perfect weight in that. Over at the 5th, this is the second shot for Alison Corpus.
After a really nice drive, just 126 left. That was a smooth wedge. Going a little left of the flag.
Yeah, another chance for a birdie. 4 of the 5 hardest holes on the golf course are on the back 9, and Alison Corpus is into a part of the golf course where she could make some hay, even with her being at 10 under par, so we could see that lead stretched here. Now Nelly at 15.
Ball is a little bit above her feet here, so have to watch how much you dig into the sand because of that. Land on a downslope.
Spending a lot of time at the beach, Karen.
Too much. She'll have an uphill putt there though, Morgan.
Yeah, not bad. A little bit heavy, but worked out just fine.
Back over to the 5th, and the second for Maya Stark.
Just a couple paces ahead from where Corpus hit. This also a wedge.
Even better.
And these two are kind of feeding off each other right now.
After just clearing the bunker with her third at the 14th, here's the birdie putt for Lopez.
This is going to be fairly straight, might move right at the end.
15.
And a green out of the bunker.
Very simple shot here, Tom. Just close to that front lip, and I think she had designs on making that one.
Yeah. A little sawn off follow through there. And we'll go up to the 18th hole.
And Yulu for birdie and a 64 if it drops. This is unfamiliar territory for you, fighting for her card. She's been top 40, top 50 money list, the CME points list, her first 4 years on tour.
It's not a fun place to be. It's very uncomfortable. Just so much uncertainty, but what a time to put a round like that together. She's still going to have a good bit of pressure on her tomorrow, but...
Yeah, she has done what she's needed to do to solidify her spot.
Different story for Lydia Ko. She's battling for season-long honours. Number 1 in the race to the CME Globe. This one for par at 15.
And with this putt, Tom, there is going to be an influence from the bunker that is behind her. And the move from that bunker will be to the right, but the overall slope of this green is to the left. Not sure there's many better players out here at reading greens than Lydia, though.
Yeah, another great up and down for Lydia Ko. Makes it look so easy. Now over at the 5th hole, other side of the course, Corpus for birdie.
Yeah, this is a left to right sliding putt, but another good opportunity for birdie.
Just a 4. 6 is playing as the second easiest hole on the course, and 7 is playing as the easy. So she's coming into the 2 easiest holes on the golf course now. Back over to 15, Nelly for par.
Easy enough.
Okay, sand save there. I think Nelly looks pretty good for tomorrow. Has had some time to rest and recharge, and now there's this big finish to the season. She's also going to play in the QBE shootout for the first time, which is the pairs event down at Tiburon, same venue as the CME Group Tour Championship. We'll be able to see the QBE shootout on Golf Channel and NBC. Looking forward to that one. Now Stark for a birdie.
And it's an opportunity to get within 2 of her fellow competitor.
Yeah,
and birdies are flying in this group.
Yeah, good little battle as well. Just kind of quietly going about their business. A lot of fans are watching the marquee groups on the other side of the golf course. So having a nice morning and warm, quite humid weather today here in Bel Air, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. Jin Young Ko back on the tee at 15.
I think they're trying to figure out the wind. You can't really feel it here on the tee, but it should be helping a little right to left. She's taken a 5-iron. She has 186 to the flag. She needs to clear at least 172 yards if she's going directly at it.
It's been a tough green to hit today, Angela. Less than 45% of the field hitting this green in regulation.
Well, it played 3rd hardest yesterday, and that whole location today doesn't make it any easier.
Another player finds the bunker. Let's go up 1 to the 16th.
And Nelly Corda 1 off the lead.
There were some very strategically placed bunkers down the right side. 255 gets into the very first one on the far right of it. But you don't want to miss this fairway left because the pine trees down there can really impede a player.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most uncomfortable tee shots on the golf course if you're taking driver, Karen.
It is, but she drew that nicely just left of those bunkers.
She's been flawless, hasn't she?
I mean, every swing, perfect balance at the end of every driver, right down the middle. Still yet to miss a fairway this week.
And with that power, that's even more impressive. 15.
Now Gabby Lopez. So,
Morgan, do you think it helps watching the first player in the group when you're on a difficult par 3?
Yeah, I think it can help if you have an idea of what the player typically would hit from that type of a distance. But I think you still got to work within your own game and, you know, do what's really at the end of the day best for you. But I mean, you know, players and caddies do pay attention to what the players ahead of them might have hit. Gabby does not like that. She says like a chunk, Angela?
It was not great contact.
Well, the afternoon starters are out on the range warming up. There's Lexi Thompson there in the light blue shirt. She's about 30 minutes away from her second round tee time, and she's on the leaderboard.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Hanukkah Minolta. To learn more, visit rethinkwork.com. By Wen Grips, the best grips in golf. And by C&E Group, where risk meets opportunity. Glad to have you with us for this final regular season event on the LPGA Tour. We're in Bel Air, Florida. Tropical Storm Nicole wiped out Thursday's plays. Tournament shortened to 54 holes. So today is day 2. Make the cut at the end of the day. And then a final 18 tomorrow to determine who gets in next week's field. 60 players will be there. You got LPGA cards for 2023 hanging in the balance as well. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott. Got Kay Cockrell, Angela Stanford, and Karen Stupples out there at the 16th. This is Hannah Green.
She's actually not away. Lydia Ko is in some trouble and she's waiting on a ruling, but Hannah Green's going to go at 117 to the hole. Trying to use the wind to take it to the left towards the hole. Quality wedge.
Yeah, that'll be a quick putt down the hill, but as we saw yesterday, a lot of players bailing out to the right. Whole location today on 16, only 4 pieces off the left.
All right, so Karen mentioned Lydia is in trouble in the pine straw.
Wonder what the ruling she's asking for is. We'll find out soon enough.
Feel it in there, 90.
I'm gonna go.
Let's just keep it split Hannah's ball and flag, okay? I like a 90 shot.
Maybe the fastest player on tour says, I'll go ahead.
Maybe her sister might be just a smidge faster, but both of them really quick. But I like the line in between Hannah's ball and the flag. It's taking 5 yards off of it for that helping wind and maybe a little hop forward.
Good aim. That'll be to tie the lead as we take you over to the par 4 sixth.
Maya from the center of the fairway with a pitching wedge in hand. A little bit of wind starting to help from the right, coming out of the west. Not happy with that effort.
Playing with Allison Corpuz, who's leading it, 15.
Gabby Lopez from the bunker.
She has the worst of the 3 bunker shots.
Yeah, she had a lot more bunker to go over than green there.
And barely carried the bunker, but that actually worked out pretty darn well.
Did leave one in the bunker earlier in the round.
Somewhere in one of these spots I can hear even digging the not. So I think it's got to be more. I mean, just judging by the pine straw a little bit, I think it's got to be sitting up a little bit, so maybe even down there. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'd be good with that. Like I said, we got pushed down a little bit. Yeah. We just got to put it back in the nearest most similar line. So again, just be careful with the pine straw that we don't cause anything to move. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Brian Fahey, LPGA rules official.
Almost sounded like somebody maybe stepped on her ball and just moving it to a...
It did move? No, it didn't move. Okay. Yeah, I was pulling it, so I wasn't sure if it did.
All right, the ball is stationary. Karen, what can you tell us?
Well, I do know that somebody did stand on the ball, so that's exactly what happened. So you get to replace the ball in the position which it was before it was stood on. Or recreate the lie as best you can.
That's something that you don't hear of very often there, Karen. Somebody stepping on the golf ball.
No, just not paying attention. It's very close to the rope line, and most of the players on the LPGA Tour don't miss many fairways out here, so...
24 front.
You're going to like the NBC start.
She's got to hit a little low draw here. Try and keep it off her back foot, get the ball turning over if she wants to hit the green. Got more air under that than I was expecting, and got the draw. Very nicely done.
I mean, with disaster left.
And
the pine straw is so thick, Morgan. Very hard to keep your footing.
Hard to keep your footing. Hard to get solid contact. She even had a little bit of spin on it. Tough to draw the ball. I mean, you got to stay so solid. It's even more challenging than, say, a bunker shot. Just look at how steady her lower body is here. Wow.
Just showing off today. Twice from behind greens here on the back nine, and then from the pine straw here. Incredible. Chance to go back to #1 in the world. She's #1 in the Player of the Year race. Air Trophy, CME points. 15 again.
Gabby Lopez for the par.
Yeah, Tom, she didn't have the uphill lie Andrea and Jin Young Ko had, so she actually had a really good bunker shot to this point. It was speedy downhill.
There's another shot gone for Gabby, and she's going to go over par for the day.
Second shot for our leader, Allison Corpuz, at 6.
Just 110 yards left. And she's just using a wedge, just a small one, little 3/4. And maybe didn't get through that the way she wanted to.
Proper side of that severe green at the 6th. At the 16th, Hannah Green for birdie.
And a rather challenging hole location. Right on the top of just a little mound on the green. Hard to imagine there's been too many one putts here around this hole.
Yeah, there's only been 5 birdies so far today. It's not playing over par. It's actually playing slightly under par, but just like you said, Karen, not a lot of one putts.
Every birdie this week is worth some cash. Pelican Women's Championship donating $50. Go toward Baycare's Angel Eye Health System, nearby Meese Countryside Hospital. Nelly for birdie to tie the lead.
A little bit down and then back uphill towards the hole.
This is another 50
Oh,
bucks.
yeah. Oh, how does that stay out? It should break left at the hole.
Wow, that looked good for a really long time. Even she knew that. That's about all you can do.
So the lead remains 1 for Corpuz as she lines up this birdie putt at 6.
Yeah, she's donated $250 towards the cause already with her 5 birdies, looking for the 6th today. And I think she got too caught up kind of in the line and just never hit that one, and it sure snapped quickly.
For an improbable birdie at the 16th, Lydia Ko walking this one off.
Well, I didn't see the sort of the 140-odd yard shot from behind the trees off a pine straw, needing to hit a draw to be the closest to the flag on this hole on my bingo card. So she does have a decent look at it, though, from here. It is more uphill than the other players, has less of that little ridge which the hole is perched on to deal with. And honestly, Morgan, I wouldn't put it past her to go ahead and make this.
This would be one heck of a birdie here. It'd be a very Lydia Ko-esque birdie.
Of course. Well, she moves the needle on the LPGA Tour. She moves some at 16 and incredibly picks up a shot from the pine straw.
That's just even look at her look at her smile. That's just remarkable.
The up and downs at 13 and 15, and then that one. Come on. Crazy.
Back to the tee at the 15th, and Daniela Darkea. She's in a tie for 62nd right now, level par.
I think you need to be at least at even par, Tom, to be safe. 1 under might make you breathe even a little bit easier, but I don't know if that cut's going to end up going to 1 over.
And that is way left, and it's not going to get any easier now because pitching on the downslope. So it's a tough shot coming up for Darkea. Remember, she's 65th, projected 65th, needs to get to 63rd in the race to the CME Globe, so needs to make the cut here.
Maya Stark for birdie at 6.
She learned a lot from Corpus putt and still couldn't get that quite there, but that had a lot of right to left.
To 12, and Jarina Mendoza. 3rd hole of the day.
She told me in the Pro-Am she hit it to about a foot behind the hole. They thought it was going to go in. She didn't realize she could win the car in the hole-in-one. Or in the Pro-Am, I mean.
Yeah, in the Pro-Am.
But it was close. Not quite close enough.
17.
Yeah, this is what it looks like from behind the tee. Lydia Ko going to go with the driver.
And the wind is off the left. And the ball is riding that wind off to the right a little bit, but should catch the fairway. Soft conditions will help that.
Yeah, there's so much room down the right side here.
All right, Maya Stark to clean up for par at 6. Okay. Stays 2 back. At least pending Corpuz's par putt. 17.
And a green.
Yeah, this was a more penetrating tee shot than Lydia's. More down the middle.
Starting to see a little bit of roll in the fairways, but it's just been very difficult to get them dry. It's still very soft out there. Now, Nelly.
Working on a little move to make sure that she releases the club head here. That practice swing. Wants to get the club releasing with the wind on her back. Good tee shot there.
That's with Jamie Mulligan. He's going to be there next week at the CME Group Tour Championship. And we'll go over to the 6th.
And the player in front, Alison Corpuz, trying to stay there. So the rookie trying to win for the first time, leading it by 1 on Saturday. Second shot for Andrea Lee. Needs a big finish here if she's going to have a chance to make the cut.
She has 163 to the hole. She is going with a 6-iron. Breeze might be helping us touch.
That's a good start. Maybe a big flurry of birdies to close out her second round. Take a look at our insights by KPMG Morgan. We were talking about this earlier. She has put herself not only in the winner's circle, but on the radar for the U.S. Solheim Cup team.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. She started the year with no status. Started the year on the Epsom Tour, won an event on the Epsom Tour in March, got a sponsor's exemption into the event at Palos Verdes, finished top 5, reshuffled her up, and allowed her to have this incredible finish to the season. She's such a tremendous player and definitely on Stacy's radar.
In fact, she is 6th in the current Solheim Cup standings. Gabby's 2nd at 16. It's one of the best we've seen. 17.
And the second shot here for Lydia Ko.
From 112. Wind on her back. Distance control wedge is normally a strong point for her, but with that flag tight at the back of the green, no one wants to go long, so understandably a little short there.
Yeah, going long here might even test Lydia's skill.
What'd you say, Tom? There's 2 paces?
There are 2 paces.
Behind this green, behind this whole location. And then it all just, it's like an infinity green.
Yeah.
It all disappears.
I think right now it's playing into the hundreds. I think it's playing like 10, like right around 100 for a win. Okay, a little left or right in it.
So playing just a little bit of wind here into, but not a huge amount. I think Jason's been conservative with her here just to make sure that she doesn't fly the green as well. Good trajectory on this, should land pretty close.
It's almost hard to get it close to this hole location hitting a wedge because you can't land it more than 2 paces beyond the flag, and it's going to spin. It's a really tough hole to get it close. You have to try and eliminate the spin entirely, Karen.
You do, and that's really difficult when the greens are this soft and the green slopes from back to front. It's from 89 yards.
And you can see
flatter coming into the green there, though.
Yeah, that had significantly less spin. You could see almost a 3/4 back, 3/4 through type of a shot.
Andrea Lee for birdie at 16 as the wind picks up.
This putt should move a little left to right. It's down green, so it should have some speed.
Okay. That gets her to 2 over. Birdie 17, birdie 18. No easy tasks, but to give herself a chance to make the cut. The morning rounds ending, afternoon rounds beginning. Here's Mendoza for birdie at 12.
Pretty straight putt here, I'd have to imagine. I think just players thinking that it breaks a little bit towards that penalty area, and like we saw with Nellie's putt earlier, it just doesn't.
Well, Angela, how about Jin Young Ko in a position that we've never seen her in, and frankly, she's never been in, trying to come back from an injury and a run of golf that is the poorest of her young career.
Yeah, you know, I think because of an injury, you know, it's making your body do things you haven't seen before, and you're shooting numbers you've never seen before. And honestly, her swing's going to come back. Her body's going to get stronger. Now she has to kind of clear that mental hurdle. You know, she's seeing shots she's never seen before, and she didn't know she was capable of. So I think she has to overcome some of the things that she's seen, and it's more about her confidence, getting her confidence back now.
I think it's a tough balance for players, whether to continue playing when you're injured, whether you can rehab it while on the road, or take the time off. And I think far too often players don't want to stop playing, and they continue to play through an injury, and that's when you get into probably more bad habits than you'd ever like to admit.
She played through it, though, and won 5 times, which made it even harder for her to stop, didn't it? 17.
And Lydia for birdie.
Back uphill, should move left. Also into the wind, so keeping the speed up here is going to be difficult.
Oh, she did keep the speed up. Good try, very good try. So she's going to remain at 4 under. She's 6 back. Remember, this is the second round. Final round tomorrow. It's going to depend a little bit on what happens later this afternoon.
At the 16th, Gabby Lopez for birdie.
Same theme here, Grant. It's all down grain towards the water. Gabby probably has the straightest putt of all 3 of them, so this is a good look for her to make birdie.
Yeah, this group is making this hole look a lot easier than it's playing today. And the 8th birdie of the day on the 16th hole.
Yeah, those bogeys at 8 and 10 were really good bogeys, I guess you could say. Here's a sponsor invite, a new pro, Aline Crowder, former winner of the Amateur over in the UK. Played collegiately at Stanford with, among others, Andrea Lee.
Now Nelly for a birdie at 17.
Hannah Green just missed her birdie attempt in front of Nelly, but Nelly got a good read, but couldn't get the ball to the hole.
Yeah.
Should have taken a par here last year on Sunday, wouldn't she?
She made 7 here. She missed the green long and knocked into the bunker, came out of the bunker and 3-putted from short range. Trying to keep that out of her mind, though.
Well, it has been a really good day for Leona Maguire. She had a chance for something really crazy low, as she did here with a 62. In years past, this was earlier at 18. Oh, talk about crazy. Off the stick after a 29 on the front. That'll be a tap-in birdie to wrap up round 2.
The hardest hole in the golf course.
Third shot at the par 5, 7th for Alison Corpuz.
Yeah, she was forced to lay up. Didn't lay up well. Kind of an awkward angle.
Ooh, she was right on the edge of that ball going down the slope behind the green. Fortunate there.
On the tee at 18, Lydia Ko.
Players facing a little different wind direction to what they faced on this tee yesterday. Yesterday it was somewhat downwind. Today it is more off the left, and the angle that they're playing from this tee, there's a little bit of hurt in it as well. So if you're looking to draw this, it will kind of take a bit of heat off of it. Lydia using the wind with a little fade.
That'll be just fine. Just it's a pretty wide fairway there on the 18th. Just about placement. More from the right side. She'll have a better angle.
7.
This is the third for Maya Stark.
Tom, she had a legitimate chance of getting on the front right part of the screen in 2, but pole hooked it. Ended up short of the bunker off a tight lie. Well executed. Got that to spin nicely. That was not an easy shot.
Had 4 eagles here yesterday, none today.
We're going to look at this tee shot of Nelly Korda with our top tracer technology.
It's going to trace a pretty picture, that's for sure. The trajectory that she gets and the ball flight that she gets with this club is very nice indeed.
Can she go 14 for 14 in fairways hit?
28 for 28.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Hasn't missed one all week. Tom mentioned the triple bogey she made on the 71st hole last year. She birdied this one in regulation to get into a playoff, and then birdied it on the first extra hole to win it. Leona Maguire began the round with a bang and ends it with a literal bang off the flagstick. 64. It's only her second best score here at the Pelican. Shot a 62 before.
Apparently. Back back of the 7th, and this is Alison Corpuz for birdie.
Slick downhill putt, Tom, this to get to 11 under.
She parred 6 and 7 yesterday. She's going to do the same again today on the 2 easiest holes on the golf course, but still a 1-shot lead.
And coming up to one of the harder holes on the golf course with the 8th.
Yeah, the hardest right now. Over at the 13th, Torina Mendoza for birdie. Giving it a good run. Oh, yes.
Good putt.
Torina battling away to get inside the top 100 in the race to the CME Globe and guarantee a spot on the LPGA Tour next year. Crowther now for birdie at 15. It's a quick putt from this part of the green. Yes. It'll be nice to make a cut here. Trying to get the professional career off and running. Back over to the 7th, and Maya Stark for the birdie.
Tom, this is for her 8th birdie today to go along with 1 bogey and to get her, more importantly, to 9 under, just 1 behind Alison Corpuz. Like I said, they've been pushing each other today and really playing off one another in a positive way.
Yeah, Maya Stark, she's a very aggressive player, Kay. She likes to be fearless, aggressive. I think we've seen that in some of the iron shots she's hit today. Oh, just push that a little bit.
Probably upset that she just maybe doubted herself a little bit, backing off that putt.
Back over at the 15th, Bianca Bogdananum for birdie. Yes, gets to 2 under par. Bianca's 130th in the race to the CME Globe, so needs a really good week here.
Try to keep all those numbers straight. You can download the LPGA app for iPhone, iPad, and Android today. Go to lpga.com/apps for more information. Nelly and Lydia playing the 18th as they did in the playoff last year. They were joined by Se Young Kim and Lexi Thompson in one of the wildest finishes we had in 2021. Nelly emerged victorious. Here is Lydia. And Karen, as we watch her at 4 under par here, she's talked this year about while maybe not having as many wins as she's had in previous years. This is the first time, by the way, since 2016 that she's won multiple times. She's loved the consistency that she's had this year.
And you can't blame her for that, because when you keep putting yourself in contention, having good low rounds, even though you're not picking up a trophy, it's very rewarding week in, week out on that. And it's a lot less stress on the system, you know, in terms of the amount of work and effort you feel you have to put into the game to get something out of it. But this one's way left of the green.
Oh, that's going to be really tricky. Up and over that big knob you can kind of see in the bottom left of your screen. Short-sided. She's going to have to pull out some more Lydia Ko magic. We've seen it before today.
Tricky for most. Here's Hannah now.
Ball a little bit below her feet, and from this left side of the fairway, she can actually use that wind as a little bit of an assist here to get the ball towards the hole. You've got to be quite gutsy with this one, Morgan, and actually take it at the flag, and the misses are slightly right, like that.
Yeah, that's definitely the better place to be. Look at how close that flag is to that slope on the left. That's what makes it tough to get it close.
See those two? That's your edge. A little into.
Now Nelly.
She's got 140, and this is a 9-iron. I think she can go ahead and be confident with this club, because you heard Jason say just a little bit into, especially if she's going to turn it in towards that flag.
A late club twirl and little deep.
A little bit of a tug.
Yep.
Oh, and she's on the downslope. That's going to be really difficult as well.
And we mentioned it. What a finish playing with Lexi Thompson in the final group. This was Nelly at the 18th after making triple bogey. It was chilly that day, and you had noted the Florida girls might feel that chill a little more than others. They go to the first playoff hole after Lexi missed a putt to win it. And with Lexi in there tight, Nelly rolled in the birdie putt. Lexi would miss, and Nelly had her 4th LPGA Tour title to go along with that gold medal from the Olympics. She was #1 in the world. But this season has been a different story as she's battled through that blood clot and yet come back and played remarkably well.
It's almost as if she never left. It's almost as if she hasn't battled through that injury, and I think it was important for her to take the appropriate amount of time off and come back when she knew she was fully ready. Came back with a top 10 at the U.S. Open. And definitely, you know, we've mentioned a couple missed cuts, but really has played some tremendous golf considering everything that she's been through.
Here is Lexi just getting her second round started after a 64, playing over at the 10th, her first hole of the day. A great start for Lexi. She's just 3 back. Brooke Henderson was supposed to play with Lexi and Jody Ewart-Shadoff, but Brooke has just withdrawn, and hopefully she'll be okay for next week down near where she lives in Naples. Brooke, hopefully okay for the CME Group Tour Championship.
At the 17th, the birdie putt here for Gabby Lopez.
This is really slow.
Again, they're playing preferred lies as they did yesterday after the nearly 5 inches of rain that fell over a very short amount of time. So this is the 3rd coming up for Lydia. Nelly's got a tough one as well.
I don't know. I think I'd rather play Nelly's than Lydia's any day of the week. Nelly's is just pretty much straight back up the hill and back onto the green. Whereas Lydia, she's got a whole host of undulations and different ways the ball could kick once it lands on the green surface. It's going to kick quite heavily to the right, and she's got to deal with a downslope and an upslope. And all in all, trying to create a picture for this shot is very difficult because you have to calculate all the different scenarios that's going to happen to the ball once it hits the ground.
She's got that weight on her front foot. Even though the ball is forward in her stance, still weight forward to make sure she makes solid contact. Wow.
Well, to borrow a line from our colleague Dan Hicks, did you expect anything different?
Well, take a bow, Lydia Ko. That was fantastic.
I mean, she landed this right in the most perfect spot, just on the fringe. And I mean, you could see that she had those sprinkler heads, too, that were not too far from where she landed that ball. That could have spelled disaster, but Lydia coming up with just some more magic, short game magic. She's got so much feel and creativity with those clubs in her hand. And she just sees shots that other players don't see and then can execute.
At the tough 8, the leader, Allison Corpuz.
She's pulled out a 5-iron. 176 yards back into a slight wind. A hole back left on this skinny green.
Oh, yes.
What a shot.
You cannot see the bottom of the cup, so she probably has no idea how close it is.
She'll be thrilled when that gets up there.
All right, Nelly, 3rd at 18.
She did land on that little bit of a downslope, but I actually think that's good because she can keep the trajectory down, get it to pitch just on that upslope, hop up over onto the hill and onto the green. Oh, she hit that hard.
Uh-oh. I don't think that's going to go all the way in the water. We saw Lindy Duncan earlier chip it from over the green all the way back into the water.
That's just missing your landing area, Morgan.
Yeah, just carried it. Good bit too far. I think maybe a little bit off the downslope there, Karen.
Let's go back out to the 11th and check in with Carlota Segunda in the early stages of her second round. Yeah, that's a good approach there. Remember, she told us yesterday that she rolled her ankle on Sunday in Japan last week, playing in the LPGA event, and hadn't really practiced too much. Just played 9 holes in practice ahead of the Pelican LPGA.
All right, so some par putts coming up for Lydia and Nelly, and a birdie attempt here for Hannah Green.
This really is a good spot to leave it on the green. Back uphill towards the hole. Not a huge amount of breaking it from here either. I think Hannah's been a little bit frustrated today. Hasn't really got an awful lot going.
And I think when that happens, Karen, in a 3-day event as opposed to a 4-day event, you might get even a little bit more frustrated because you know you're running out of time to make something happen.
Nelly's building a house. Hannah is taking that $1 million from the Aon Risk Reward Challenge last year and buying one in Australia. At the 8th, Maya Stark, somewhere back in there.
She has to hit it essentially over the edge of the trees to get it near the hole, and that was a 7-iron.
And that's not a bad place. Long on this 8th green is not a bad place to miss it. You're actually chipping back up the hill. Potentially can get a putter on that as well.
Nelly for par the 18th.
This one is back up the hill. Quite slow.
Is it enough? It got repelled at the last moment.
Wow, that looked like it went forward and then came backwards. A little bit of the donut, maybe, effect right there.
Well, okay, enough of that one.
Back in the water.
Andrea Lee waiting back in the fairway. Nelly talked about how much she hates the process of trying to build a house. You need some minions there back home to take care of the details. But the money she's made the last few years, she can build a big one. Lydia now for par.
Just going to try and dip into that well one more time with the short game magic and make the save. Don't think this putt does a huge amount here either.
Finally missed one.
I mean, just putting a lot of pressure today on her short game. And unusual, I think, for Lydia, missing it in some of the wrong places. We don't typically see her miss it in nearly impossible locations. So needs to tighten that up a little bit before tomorrow.
Anyone else would be flirting with missing the cut. But Lydia right there at -3. Now Hannah Green for her par.
It does make all the difference in the world being able to hit the greens in the right spot on this golf course, Morgan, and I think this is just a great example of it from Hannah there.
Yeah, like you said, Karen, the miss here is right of that whole location today and walks away with an easy par compared to her opponents.
So Corpus leading it by 2, and a birdie putt coming up at 8 in a moment. Green is clearing, and now Andrea Lee with her second. Angela?
She has 189 to the hole. The wind is moving the ball. It's going to move the ball left to right, hurting a little bit.
I think she absolutely has to make birdie here and then still hope for a little bit of help. Looks like a tug. It's just, for whatever reason, a commonplace. It's kind of where your eye takes you.
Look out here.
Oh, she's going to get away with it.
Wow.
Fabulous. That was not what she was intending to do.
Yeah.
And look,
yeah,
look at Drew.
Like, yeah, good shot. Just like we planned it. All right, third shot at the 8th for Maya Stark.
Pretty straightforward chip and run shot. Plenty of green to work with. Oh, that'll do.
There's that short game Morgan talked about. A birdie for Stark. She's alone in second now.
Misses a short putt for birdie on the last and sinks the chip. Crazy game.
Yeah, it's just definitely the right spot to leave it. We talked about leaving yourself in the right position if you do miss around this golf course, and it couldn't have been much better than that for Maya Stark, and wonderful technique.
How about the back and forth with these two? They played together in the penultimate group in Northern Ireland. Maya shot 63. Corpuz finished second. Stark won it.
Over at 11, looking for back-to-back birdies to start the second round. Saganda, and not high enough. You can see that ankle is taped. We're talking about rolling the ankle last weekend. But she says she thinks about Rafa Nadal, her great hero, and the fact that he would have played through the pain and wouldn't have complained. So that's kind of her motivation. She's a big tennis fan.
Lopez. Angela, how about the fact that she's hanging in there at 5 under today?
Yeah, it's, I mean, really, watching her make the bogey on 8 and then on 10, I mean, you're turning, I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you're turning 2 doubles into bogeys. And with her length, I mean, I think she can make a run tomorrow.
Making one last push today. How about the run she made in Toledo?
And we saw that quite a bit this season, and definitely from Gabby in Toledo, playing 4 or 5 groups behind the leaders and posting a score to win. She knows how to go low.
Shot 63 on that Sunday. Here is Allisen Corpuz at the 8th.
And with that chip in that Maya Stark just made, her lead just 1. This to get it to 11 under. Really working closely with Jay Monahan, her caddy.
Yeah, she told me that they talk a lot. They have good, I think he's helped her a lot, relies a lot on him, and even some of the experience that he has with his wife, Jennifer Kupcho, as well.
And I think that shows a lot of trust in his capability, because she is actually a very independent player. At least she was in college. Didn't need a lot of heavy coaching out on the golf course, but I think he's very helpful to just reassure the reads on these greens.
Okay.
It looked a little tentative, but it was in the middle.
Well, there were 6 birdies at 8 until this group got here.
Yeah, 2 birdies here, but you have to think, I mean, Allisen probably knows where she stands.
She's up by 2. Nelly Cordes 3 back, and Nelly is with Karen.
Thanks, Grant. Nelly, always a pleasure following you on the golf course today. You obviously have a huge comfort level around this golf course. Tell me what it's like when you step up on that first tee knowing that you've played well here before.
Yeah, it's nice. Being not that far away from home, having my parents out here, it all kind of plays a part, and I enjoy being out here. I like playing on this grass. I grew up on it, so I've had really good memories out here.
You said that you put in a lot of work before coming in here. What did you work on to get yourself in this position?
Pretty much everything. I grinded on every part of my game, especially my ball striking, which kind of let me down in Arkansas and Dallas. I missed 2 cuts there, which that's golf, but I haven't missed 2 cuts in a row in a really long time, and took those 3 weeks that I had off to kind of grind through it, and I've seen some positives from it.
You're going to be a couple of shots back maybe going into tomorrow. How does that change your mindset when you're a chaser as opposed to being in the lead?
I think actually sometimes it's better to be a chaser than being in the lead. But, you know, I'm going to stick to my game plan and try to attack the pins as much as possible. I'm an aggressive player, so I typically do, which sometimes, like 18, I hit it a little long there. But, yeah, I'm just going to stick to my game plan and see how it goes tomorrow.
Give Jason lots of grey hairs. Thanks very much for your time.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
It's been 3.5 years since she's missed back-to-back cuts. Now she's in contention. This is what we expect, isn't it, Morgan, from Nelly?
Yeah, she talked about how yesterday she felt like she wasn't quite dialed in with her distance control. Conditions significantly different after all that rain, but she showed a much more control today with her ball.
4 straight birdies, 4, 5, 6, and 7. She bogeyed 13 and then had a tough long bunker shot at 14, hit it to here, and then buried the birdie.
She was in 3 bunkers in a row here on 13, 14, and 15. But, you know, I like what she said. I like being a chaser. I can go out and play aggressively tomorrow.
Guarantee Allisen Corpuz will see Nelly Cord in the rear view mirror. Allisen leading it by 2.
Final hole of the day for the leader of the Pelican Women's Championship, Alison Corpus.
161 yards to the hole. This is 6-iron, 155 to cover that sand.
Yeah, safe play there. She's going to have that tough, quick putt up the hill and then down really quick towards the hole.
And finishing up over across the street at the 18th, Gabby Lopez.
Grant, she had 140 into this hole, and that is taking advantage of your length. You can throw a dart into the 18th green.
Bullseye. So Gabby is going to give herself a shot here after salvaging 69 on a day, Morgan, that could have been what? 72 or 3 maybe?
What a roller coaster she was on today. Got off to such a hot start and then, you know, fought really hard in the middle of her round, but great way to finish.
Lexi's at the 11th. This is quite a long way below the level of the putting surface. See how smooth it runs. It just bounced quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it just bobbled. And when you're putting into the green up those really steep slopes, you got to expect it to bobble a bit.
That area down there in that hollow took quite a brunt of the drainage during the tropical storms. It's not as smooth as it normally is down there.
Andrea Lee got to make it to have any shot. So she's going to miss her first cut in a stroke play event since the KPMG Women's PGA. What a season for Andrea, who began the year without really any kind of good LPGA status. She's going to make it all the way to the CME Group Tour Championship. At the 16th, Aline Crowder. Morgan, she made her debut at the Dana Open in the top 5 after the first round, made the cut.
Yeah, it looks like she's on her way to making another cut here, and not just confidence, but also her first few paychecks.
Lexi Thompson for a par here at the 11th.
I feel like just about everybody has misread that putt on the low side today, Tom. Everybody is not playing as much break as we've seen.
Lexi's strong from the 5 to 10 feet range on the LPGA Tour. Second highest percentage on tour when you look at the insights by KPMG. She's number 2 in that category.
At the 12th, Carlota Saganda. Okay, getting a little better. All right, to the 9th we go.
And Lim Kim has got the one shoe off here. Is she in the water?
She is.
Is that the ball that's submerged?
It's just under the water, the top of the water level.
Well, she's level par, so I can see why she's going to play it.
She needs to get this up and down to have a chance of making the cut. This is risky.
I guess you could chip it in.
Oh, heck of a shot. I mean, that came out much cleaner than she would have thought. Look at her reaction.
Interesting, though. I mean, if she had taken a drop and chipped it in, maybe that would have been a better chance to make par. We'll discuss when we come back.
But that was fun.
Okay, let's discuss. Back here with Lim Kim for the par. Kay, what did you think about that decision to play it out of the water?
Well, I loved it. I admire players that have guts like that. It probably wasn't very smart, but she got it out. Now a very tough downhill putt for par. She needs to ensure she two putts this. And there's work to be done for the bogey.
Well, mind you,
Is
steady.
this going in the water?
Go back in the water.
Oh, no.
It's going to go back in.
Take the shoe off again.
It is not.
It is. It is. It's back in the water. Well, she's got to hold that to.
Well, now
make
she
the
has
cut.
to play
Now
it.
she's got to play it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think the decision should have been to drop it. Hindsight's 20/20. The cut is moving towards 1 over. She could have got it up and down and made the cut.
It looks like now she was putting a tee down as if to mark it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if she knows where the cut maybe is.
She hasn't missed one since Chevron, so she doesn't usually think about it. Saganda, thinking about her first win maybe in 6 years. She's tied for third.
Been a bit of a wait for Alison Corpuz, but you've just seen someone putt one into the water, so that's not going to help, Kay.
Well, it's going to help her modify how she hits those putt. Initial part uphill into the green, then it becomes slick as ice once it crests. See if she can cozy this down to within 2 feet.
Oh, did she leave it on top?
Oh,
Oh, goodness.
Well, we're getting an insight here into the difficulty of this golf course.
Well, and I think that was because she watched
Yeah.
Lim Kim putt, as opposed to if she hadn't. Sometimes when you watch somebody else, it doesn't always help you.
Maria Fassi beginning her second round after a career low 62. How about the pressure and the opportunity for Maria?
When I was texting with her yesterday after the round, she said, I was having so much fun out there. And I said, we could tell, we could see it. And here she is, off to a hot start again today, especially with that putter.
So Fassi picks up an early birdie, and a reminder, we're with you tomorrow for the final round of the Pelican Women's Championship. We'll be with you at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Golf Channel, 1:30 p.m. live streaming on golfchannel.com and the NBC Sports app. Shoes on at 9.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't make any sense. She's taking a drop here.
And now this is her 5th.
Don't go in. That would have made it almost worse, wouldn't it?
Well, you know what, Tom? This all could have been avoided if she just hit it in the middle or the left side of the green.
If she hit it in the
off
green to
tee.
start with. But if she'd done that to begin with, she would be walking away at 1 over par and likely to play tomorrow. Shame. But it was fun to watch. And she did play a pretty good shot out of the water, you have to say.
Right. It was really good. All right, Lexi with a birdie and a bogey so far in round 2. This is hole number 3 for her, the par 3 12th. And you see there, she is tied for 6th at 6 under. How important do you think that was for her to win on the Ladies European Tour, Morgan, just last month?
I think it was. I think she's even said that it was huge for her confidence-wise, and you know, a lot of people talk that she hasn't won in a few years on the LPGA Tour, and a little bit of a miss club there. But I mean, just no matter where you're winning a tournament and getting it done down the stretch with pressure on the line.
Alison Corpuz now for par.
Yeah, she's had to be really gentle with that and just be disciplined to take a 2-putt and walk off with bogey. But I agree with you guys, Tom. I think if Allison had putted while Lim was putting her shoes back on, I feel like she probably would have 2-putt from there.
Well, you live and learn, don't you? Now Maya Stark for the birdie.
Yeah, this now to get to double digits under par.
Basically to tie the lead.
Yeah, and this is for her 9th birdie today.
No. I've seen her miss quite a few putts today, but she's going to have 5 fewer putts today than she had yesterday Turned pro in August of last year. Quickly won 3 events across the Ladies European Tour and Ladies European Tour Access Series. And then has had success this year both on the LET and on the LPGA, which is why she's playing here. Now Corpuz to knock this in for the bogey. Yeah, disappointing way to finish, but a big round of golf for Alison and a big day coming tomorrow with a chance to win for the first time. Look at that, 65-65 on the par 70 layout here at the Pelican Golf Club.
Today's coverage is brought to you by Raymond James, tailored wealth management, banking, and capital market solutions for clients' unique needs. By Volunteers of America, helping those who need it most for over 125 years. And by Skechers Go Golf, comfort-driven styles worn by Brooke Henderson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know. Okay. Okay. What? Okay.
What's in my teeth?
Couple of rounds of 65 for the 24-year-old from Hawaii, Alison Corpuz, the rookie trying to win for the first time. Maya Stark wasn't even a rookie when she won as a non-member LPGA event back in Northern Ireland. Now she's trying to win for a second time. It's time for our Odyssey Tri-Hot 5K putting performance. And Alison Corpuz authored ours today. This is at the par 5 14th, ticklish down the hill. Great touch. And then at the 4th, when she had to go up the hill, again, perfect speed, perfect line. That gave her the lead outright, which she still has. Our Odyssey Tri-Hot 5K putting performance for round 2. Birdie putt here for Lexi Thompson at the 12th.
Should have a little bit of left break early. We've seen quite a few players leave this short, expecting it to be a bit quicker down towards the water. Let's see if Lexi can dial it in. Her pace yesterday during our coverage was spot on. Another one right there.
That Ladies European Tour victory came against a stacked field. She beat Brooke Henderson, beat Nelly Korda down the stretch in New York City. At the 14th, Brittany Lang for birdie. Her exempt status is running out from her U.S. Women's Open victory in 2016. Not sure how much we'll see of Brittany. Hope to.
This is Angel Yin on the tee at the 9th. See how aggressive she is. 1 over par for her round. 2 under for the week. And this could get pretty tasty here. Keep an eye on it. Lovely. Should be a birdie to finish for Angel Yin. And she'll get back to where she started the day at 3 under.
And so Allison Corpuz, what will this night's sleep be like for her, Morgan? Who knows where she'll be on the leaderboard?
There's still a lot of golf left to play. I mean, Maria Fossi's only played 1 hole so far, so we're not sure exactly where she'll be, but she will have a chance to win her first title tomorrow. And I think we've already had 11 first-time winners this season. Could we see a 12th between her or Maria Fossi even?
Yeah, maybe so. You never know. She's been in the mix before. Good chance for her tomorrow. Third round coverage of the PGA Tour's Cadence Bank Houston Open comes your way next here on Golf Channel. And then tomorrow, again, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live streaming, golfchannel.com and the NBC Sports app. And then on Golf Channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Kay Cockrell, Karen Stupples, Angela Stanford, and the entire team, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour on Golf Channel. We'll see you tomorrow from Bel Air, Florida at the final round of the Pelican Women's Championship.